So we're on to ship flight. I'll show you how to fly your first ship. So here's a little starter ship we've got here. We're going to go over to the cockpit. You can also get in this seat if you want to be cool like me. They both work. So you've got all different keybinds. These are, of course, customized to me. I don't even remember what the defaults are, but you'll see all these when you do the tutorial, and you can configure all of these keys yourself in the options. So first thing you're going to see is you're going to want to switch between camera options. You have an exterior mode and an interior mode. You also have another camera mode called the free float camera, where you press F3 and you can fly around and get a really good look at your ship. And you can also do this on the inside. And you can also look around and go look at somebody else's ship, although there aren't any other ships in the air to go look at. So we'll hit F3 again to exit this mode. And we're going to get in the seat here, we're going to take off. So you press W to move forwards, and then you can let go of W whenever, and it will keep the thrust level you've set to. So you can see I'm adjusting the blue slider, and that shows what my current engines are set to, and the number is what the current speed actually is of my ship. And if you go down, you can make it go in reverse, although it's worth noting that the number when backwards is not a negative, so it can be a little bit confusing when you're switching between forwards and reverse. So, but that's the basics of, you've got roll right, roll left, strafe right, strafe left, lift up, lift down, and those are all the keybinds there. And then of course you have standard turning, which you can just click and drag and turn your ship, or you can hit tab and move into free flight mode, where you just move the mouse and the ship follows your cursor. Free flight is a little bit harder to control if you're a newer pilot especially, but it's useful for combat because you can use the mouse to aim and click to fire while steering the ship at the same time. It's not quite so difficult to fly and shoot at the same time. And then you can press X whenever, and that will completely stop your ship after a moment. It's worth noting that interstellar warp does not have proper Newtonian physics, and you can't turn the engines off and then have the ship coast forever. It will slowly come to a stop always. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go to warp. And you can do that by hitting this button here, or you can hit J, which powers up the warp generator. And warping is how you do most of your traveling in interstellar, because sublight speed, of course, is never getting anywhere at a few kilometers a second. So you really need to get to warp to really get going. There's a number of warps levels. Each warp level, of course, is a higher speed, although all warp levels cost the same amount of power. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look for a station in system. You can see here, there's the Hydropex Rift Hub, which is what we're looking for. But what you'll run into on servers is that there will be lots of stations and lots of markers on your screen. There's not going to be just one station per system. So what you can do is look over to your right or over to your left on in that cockpit, and you can see station list. Click station list, find the station you're looking for. Right there, click on it, and now it's targeted. So we can hit C again to recenter the camera, and we'll turn around, and there it is. And that timer is how long it will take you to get there at your current warp speed, but you can always warp up and cut that timer down. Warp travel does take a little bit getting used to. Don't worry about your first few overshoots. arrived. You want to make sure that you're within 1 kilometer of the station, otherwise you won't be close enough to teleport. But as you can see, we're already within 1 kilometer. What will happen a lot is you'll drop out of warp more than 1 kilometer away, at which point you just fly in at normal sublight engines. We'll hit escape now, get out of the cockpit, and go back to the teleporter, and hop on to the Hydropex Rift Hub. And that's the basics of flying your ship.